iFollow Latics, sitting down and having a chat with the Chief Executive, Mark Moisley. Mark, thank you very much for your time today. Now that the dust has settled on the season that's just gone, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, it was a tough season, as everybody saw. It was a real season of two halves. A lot of similarities to the season before, not least the manager that came in to rescue us. But no, it was a tough season. As everybody knows, we got off to a difficult start. We were in a position when Stephen Robinson came in where we didn't have the players in place. He had to recruit a lot of players quickly, which was done with a reasonable amount of success. You know, a lot of the players that were brought in at that time did well for us. You're not going to get them all right, clearly. But it just set us back a little bit. You know, the whole pre-season campaign was behind schedule, really, and we got off to a poor start. And we never really recovered from it up until Christmas, to be perfectly honest. I know that people will say we didn't have a great deal of luck at times, and I think that's fair. But we just were in a position where we got into the January period where we weren't getting the results. We'd been down in the bottom two or three most of the season, and we just felt a change, unfortunately, had to be made. Hard as Stephen had worked to try and put things right, it just didn't appear to be happening. Shez was available. He came back in for us. I think personally it was a tougher task than the previous season. I really do, because our lack of goals was a real problem. But I think we recruited well in January. If you look at the players we brought in January, they made a significant difference for us. So Aaron Holloway was a big investment for us. Anthony Gerrard we know all about. We know the experience that he brings in. Rob Hunt I think was a great addition for us. Real shame that he picked up his injury. Aidan O'Neill did well, particularly early on for us. Chris Taylor did a job for us, and Topi Obadei did a job for us as well. So I think we recruited well. We brought players in that actually were part of the first 11, which is what we needed, and made a significant difference for us. Shez himself, you've got to give him all the credit. You know, he's got us playing, he's got the results, he's got the home form going, which had been dreadful up until then. And at the end, we were safe with a game to spare, which would have snapped somebody's hand off for in January. So yeah, look, not a great season because of the way that things started. Up until Christmas, very disappointing. But then after that, we sort of produced a form that we hope very much that can give us that momentum moving forward into next season.
We're a few weeks into the post-season now. Summer is always notoriously difficult for football clubs in terms of cash flow. How is that affecting the club?
It is. I mean, look, we struggle at the best of times with cash flow at this moment in time. We all saw how the crowd suffered last season, particularly up to Christmas, because of the form of the team. There's nothing like the team performing well on the pitch to bring crowds back in. And like I say, we very much hope that next season we can build on what we've seen from January and that can change. So yeah, we do struggle with cash flow at times, and summer is the worst period of all. We don't have, obviously, the revenue coming in from the gates. Unfortunately, we're still owed money from a couple of clubs, one significant one that brought a big following here in April. We've still not received the ticket money for, and that has a real impact on us. It does. We've got to find the salaries over the next 3 months in the same way that we do throughout the season. So May, June and July, we've got huge outlay, but very little coming in. So there's pressure on our guys, particularly in the commercial team. It's up to them to try and bring in the commercial revenue for next season. We've got the addition now of the LED perimeter boards, which is great, and hopefully we can start to see businesses coming through taking the advertising on them. We've got our hospitality, our boxes, the 100 Club. We're introducing a Legends Lounge, and all these things are hugely important over this period for us. I think people forget what a short space of time it actually is during the summer to try and get everything in place for next season. We're already getting on towards the end of May, June and July, and then you're back into the new season. So they've got a lot of work to do, a lot of hard work to do. The guys in the media and the comms team have got a lot to do for us as well in making everybody aware of what's happening at the club and what's available in those respects. But it is a tough time, and as always, we're going to struggle throughout these 3 months. Heavy reliant on the owner as ever to try and make sure we get through, and we'll just keep the pressure on, certainly on the other clubs that owe us the money as well.
You mentioned there some of the sponsorship opportunities and the corporate hospitality. You touched on a little bit. What are the plans for the club going forward?
Well, look, we as ever we're always very positive behind the scenes in terms of where we're trying to get to. It's not easy, you know. We do struggle at times. The size of gates we're getting, the sort of budgets available, it's tough for us. But look, we firmly believe that we've got the right manager in place. We've got the nucleus this time of a good team. Sort of 14 or 15 players from last season that were either on 2 or 3 year deals, or that have been offered new deals. So we think we've got a team there that can actually do much better for us next season, which of course is what we all want. So on the pitch has such a massive impact with what goes on off the pitch. It does. It's as simple as that. We can do everything we want to do in terms of the offering off the pitch, in terms of the work we do from a commercial perspective, in terms of what you guys do in communicating that. But actually nothing will bring the crowds back in more than the team performing well on the pitch. That is what it's all about. All the revenue that we raise, everything we do is ultimately geared to trying to provide a team on the pitch that can challenge and perform. So everything we're doing, all the work that we're doing behind the scenes, and there's a heck of a lot going on. You know, we've made significant changes over this calendar year in every department. There's a huge amount of work going on the pitches at the moment. So all the pitches at Chapel Road, the main pitch and at Little Wembley have all been renovated. As we've made fans aware of, we've brought an outside company in to assist our ground staff. They do a terrific job out there, but we've got more expertise that's come in. We've got more access to machinery and equipment now through working with a bigger company. We had problems with the pitch last season. We've had to address that, and we really hope we can eradicate those problems. So there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes, and it's all geared up to hopefully making things better and people seeing an improvement on the pitch.
The fans obviously itching to hear about some sort of transfer deals, some transfer ongoings. You know, it's this time of the year, isn't it, when the rumour mill is well in business. But what sort of transfer business can fans expect in the next coming months?
Yeah, of course, you see so much speculation at this time of year, obviously, and it was interesting to watch this week at Latics last week, where there was a number of transfer targets leaked. Yeah, look, it's clearly we need to strengthen the squad. We need to build on the squad. We've got, thankfully, a bigger nucleus than last year to build on. But there will be players brought in. We'll also look once again to use a loan system, which worked so effectively last year when you look at the likes of Connor Ripley, Chris Taylor, Aidan O'Neill, Rob Hunt, Lee Irwin. So that's something we'll use to our advantage again, hopefully. But also, yes, of course, we'll be bringing in new additions. We've released 6 players, so we need to bring players in to replace those.
Have you got some irons in the fires already?
Yeah, Shez has already identified some players. He's speaking to 3 over the next week or so that are targets that he's got. He's specifically looking at certain positions. That's what he's after. He's got half a dozen positions where he wants to strengthen. The key ones, and it'll come as absolutely no surprise to the supporters, the key one's clearly a goalkeeper, where we've unfortunately lost Connor Ripley, and up front where we just didn't score enough goals last season. Simple as that. We defended exceptionally well. Our goals against record was up there with the best in the league, but we just didn't find the net often enough, and so that's something that he recognises quite clearly that needs addressing.
And speaking of the manager, John Sheridan said that he now wants to start looking at the other end of the table. Is that the target for next season? Yeah,
of course. I mean, it'd be nice for John to start off level on points with everybody else at the start of the season, instead of coming in like he has done for the last 2 years, when we've been very close to the bottom of the league and only looking up. So he's he's on a level playing field with everybody else. He's going to have the option to bring the players in that he wants to bring in. Like I say, he's building on a decent squad from last year. The form he's shown since January has been playoff form. If we can sort of take that into the start of next season and build on the momentum we've got, then yeah, we're optimistic that we can have a good season and that we can challenge for the playoffs. It's always difficult. You saw this year, it's no surprise that you see Sheffield United and Bolton going up. They've got 2 of the biggest budgets in the division. So it's always going to be difficult. You've got the likes of Blackburn and Wigan coming back into it this year. The likes of Portsmouth coming up from the league below, and they'll all have decent sized budgets. But look, we think we're in a decent position. We've got the manager we want. We've got the nucleus of a team that we want. If he gets the players in and we get the right loan players, then yeah, we genuinely think we can push on next season and get up to the other end of the table.
Mark, thank you very much for your time today.
Pleasure.